Tetei and the Test of Kindness by Cecilia Alquiante. There once lived a kind and gentle girl named Tetei. After her beloved mother passed away, she stayed with her father in a quiet village. Life without her mother was difficult, but Tetei always tried to be strong. One day her father married another woman. She moved in with her own daughter, Somi, who was around Tetei's age. Tetei hoped they would be one happy family, but sadly her stepmother and Somi were cruel and unkind. They treated Tetei like a servant, bullying her, forcing her to do all the chores while they went out buying new clothes and sweets. Her father grew distant and stopped caring. At night, Tetei would cry quietly, longing for her mother's warm hug. The evil plan one morning, her stepmother said sweetly, "Tetei, come with us to collect firewood in the forest." But deep in the woods, they led her to a tall cliff. Suddenly, the stepmother screamed and pretended to fall, shoving Tetei off the edge. Tetei tumbled down, thinking it was the end. But instead of hitting sharp rocks, she landed with a splash in a pond far below. Bruised but alive, Tetei pulled herself out of the water and walked, cold, wet, and alone, until she saw a small wooden cottage in the forest. She knocked softly, then collapsed at the doorstep. The woman in the cottage, an old woman, opened the door and gasped. "Oh, dear child," she cried, pulling Tetei inside. When Tetei woke, she explained her story. The woman gently said, "You may return home, but only after you stay here and help me for 6 months." Tetei agreed, and every day she cooked, cleaned, and helped the woman with joy and respect. She was humble, obedient, and kind. The woman noticed her gentle spirit and smiled. When the time came, the woman dressed her in fine clothes and gave her a pouch filled with real gold and diamonds. "You've earned this with your heart," she said. She walked Tetei home and disappeared into the trees. A shocking return. When her family saw her at the door, they gasped in fear. "Tetei? Is that really you?" They thought she was a ghost. But she smiled and told them everything about the fall, the pond, and the kind woman who had saved her. Her father wept with regret. Even her stepmother had no words. But Somi's eyes sparkled with jealousy. The greedy sister wanting treasure for herself, Somi threw herself into the same pond and found the cottage. She knocked loudly and demanded to stay. The woman allowed her in, but Somi was rude, lazy, and ungrateful. She never helped and only waited for riches. After 6 months, the woman gave her a box of fake jewelry, plastic painted to look like gold. Somi returned home and bragged to everyone. But when the jeweler examined her box, he laughed. "These are worthless, all fake." When he checked Tetei's treasure, he nodded. "These are real, pure gold and diamond." Somi was furious with shame. The final betrayal one night, Somi and her mother tried to steal Tetei's gold and diamonds. Tetei screamed as they grabbed the pouch. Her father tried to stop them. "Leave her alone." But they shoved him, and he fell to the floor, hitting his head hard. Just then, a bright light filled the room. Out of nowhere, the lady from the cottage appeared, floating gently in the air. Her eyes were glowing. "I have watched enough," she said firmly. "These two have chosen greed, cruelty, and lies." With a wave of her hand, Somi and her mother were bound by golden vines. The fairy woman revealed her true form, a guardian fairy who lived in the forest to help the good and punish the wicked. She handed them to the king's royal court, where they were judged for their actions and taken away. Peace at last. Tetei ran to her father and helped him up. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "You've always been my light." "I see that now." The fairy smiled gently. "Tetei, you have passed the test of kindness. Your goodness has protected you." Then she vanished, leaving behind a trail of sparkles and peace. Tetei and her father lived happily, their home now filled with love, laughter, and the quiet memory of a fairy's blessing. Moral of the story: true beauty lies in kindness. Greed may shine, but it fades fast. The pure-hearted will always be protected.